Okay, so you're doing very good in therapy with Samantha so far. You're doing the grass stands and the wrist strengthening and so forth. But we're going to take this another level to a gymnastic level. Okay, so I want her to use like a lacrosse ball, and she's going to use the lacrosse ball, massage herself while she extends. For a gymnast, this is tight. That is tight. She needs to get another 20 degrees or so with the wrist extensors, or wrist extension by stretching out, of course, the flexor surface. Okay, this side's not bad, but you know that's a good range of motion. But when we get the range of motion and pliability back, the strength will come back. She's having a problem with the strength, I think, right now because of that flexibility. So we need to work her strength through a range of motion too. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay. So using that lacrosse ball, I'd like for her to try and get into it and stretch herself and have elbows straight while she's doing most of this stuff. And then she can do the extensor side while flexing the wrist, doing the flexor side while extending the wrist. Okay, so she can help her through that and work the massage ball forward while she's keeping the elbow more straight, because that's gymnastics. Gymnastics is not bent arm. Okay, and then on fascial unwinding, neural tensioning. Okay, she's good in the bottom patterns, but again, gymnastics are overhead. So I'd like to try and get her up, get her on her fingers, and add some rotation to it. Do you feel that through there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we need to get her into gymnastics positions with that elbow straight again and stretching her through. Okay, because that's part of the problem that she's going to have as she returns to the sport. Okay, so it's not just stretching here. That's a big difference, isn't it? If I stretch her here and twist versus if I have her arm over, because now I'm getting that whole quadrant. And you can bring her in and out. Okay, so try and work through that, that patterning of the stretching through there, trying to incorporate the entire fascial plane. Okay, and then come on over with the video. You're going to go online and go to Google, of course, and you're going to type in gymnastics doctor. Gymnastics Doctor YouTube channel. Okay, so Gymnastics Doctor YouTube channel, and go to playlists, and then from playlists you're going to go to upper extremity, and then all the way down at the bottom, all the way down at the bottom is the sliders, wobble boards, ball drops, and I want this incorporated in because this will help get her strong and flexible in a gymnastics way. Okay, so this is how she will use furniture sliders, from like Lowe's or Home Depot. They're the large furniture sliders, and she puts her hands on them. Have you done these in therapy yet? Yeah, you've done that in therapy?
No, I haven't done with the sliders.
Okay, so this is how she's going to get her arm. That's on all fours, and then she'll eventually get to a pike handstand position. So you go from all fours to push up to pike handstand. And then I want her on a wobble board. I just use a book with pre-wrap just in the office here. But then, she's going to use the wobble board and progress from all fours to push-up position to pike handstand position, and she's going to work circles through her shoulders again, trying to get the wrist strength and flexibility. Do you see that pushing through the shoulders as she improves? Okay, so we need to do this to get her back to her gymnastics. You see what I'm saying? Okay, and then I want her to start doing some body blade work. This is ball drop and releases. So you basically drop and catch, and that'll help with her on off, like tumbling and grabbing of the bar. Okay, also, and that grip strength. Okay, and then the most important one is this position, overhead. Again, okay, for her to do that. That's the most important position. Everything overhead, overhead, overhead. Body blade, overhead work, and then body blade. Laying on the table.
So that would be your progression for the body blade.
Overhead. And then you do the same thing overhead. There it is. Laying on the table again, taking the body blade and getting it over their head. So these are all progressions. Okay? And then I always like to strengthen up the scapular stabes, the eyes wise T's, because I want that part of her back to be strong at the scapulas to take stress off the wrists. Okay? So those are all good exercises for her to do, as she's starting to actually get gymnastics strong. Does that make sense? Okay? And then you're going to go back to the playlists. And as she gets back into the sport, what she may need, if you go underneath gymnastics, sports medicine, and you come down to wrist brace, she may need a palm pad. So I'm making orthotic for the hand. Okay, so this one here is called wrist braces with palm pad, and basically what we do is we make a palm pad on the hand, and this actually takes the pressure off of the hand because we bring the ground to the hand. So the tiger paw doesn't have the palm pad. We take the tiger paw and we include a palm pad on it to give her the best protection. Okay.
In direct contact with the surface, so they end up with their between the shoulder. So what it does is, watch the angle here now down low of how with the palm pad on you get this extra resistance. So instead of having an increased angle between the hand and the forearm, the angle decreases. It takes the load off. Okay? So what I tell people to do is, it helps no matter what, whether you have positive honor variance or not, by taking off this portion of the brace, because this portion it's just not very supportive. It's helpful, but it's to make the ultimate wrist guard. You just take this portion off. It's just Velcroed on. Okay, and these come in different sizes. This happens to be an extra small that we have, and then we adapt it to the tiger paw and slide it underneath the tiger paw, just like that. Okay, so now we can get that palm pad on. So actually, pull this off.
This is an Easy Pro brace that we invented back in the 90s.
So now this is on the palm of the hand. Okay, and now go ahead and tighten that back up. So now we use the tiger paw combined with the palm pad, and then these portions, these little tags, come up. The Velcro is a little bit wasted on these.
Yeah, those are some of the original ones.
For me. And just to hold it in place, because the Velcro has been used, these are some of the original braces, so they're very old. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that's going to hold that in place. But you can see now you have the palm pad underneath. So now I've got the nice support, which is much bigger than the Easy Pro brace.
Okay, so that's what she may need when it comes back to the gym. Get the idea? Okay, so if she puts her hand here on the table, this is what bugs her, right? So if I put a pad like this, now put your hand over, this angle stays right, so it's not as pressuresome. Because if she's just genetically where she can't get all that way well, then let's make it orthotic for her hand and bring the ground to her hand. Okay? So sometimes I just use
Should I stop taping, Doctor?
No. Sometimes I just use felt pads. You know, and cut like a half-inch felt pad and cut that and adapt it to her hand. Okay? So like if you put your hand over here, you know what I mean? And now put your hand in and straighten your elbow. You know what I mean? You feel that versus this. You feel the difference?
Yeah.
Which one do you like?
That one.
That one. It makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, because it changes the angle, okay? So, you know, you can have the therapist adapt some of this to your hand. Take your lion pulse or tiger pulse in with you, and they can watch that video and try
And if she can't, can we just come bring them back here?
Of course.
Get them done here.
Yeah.
I don't mind to come back, but we'll see if Melanie can do that.
Yeah, does that make sense? Okay, now you can turn it off.